Perceptions of perfection. Perfection is a strange thing, and can be down to the viewer or creator to decide. Each person's perception and idea of what perfection is, determining whether it is good enough, or not quite, as it has to be perfect. And we have people here and there who are called perfectionists, ones who cannot stand not to reach their own standard, and it usually gets put above others' ideas of it. But why do we seek perfection when it gets like that in mind? Is it because there is a random perfection to nature we want to emulate, or believe we are capable of but not achieving? Or is it because there is so much chaos, we think we can create perfection through order, completely overlooking the beauty and order that can be found in chaos, instead focusing on the rigid parameters we believe lead to that attainment? But even then, it is only a matter of opinion mostly. Someone else could still find fault in it, or an improvement found or thought of, beyond what you have seen. In these current times though, people seem rather taken with how they appear, with a want for what is deemed a perfect aesthetic, beauty, a standard set by industries and reinforced through more industries, using the psychology of people and our predisposition to vanity and ego against us in the bigger scheme of things, giving a tainted view of what is considered perfection before we even understand the concept of it. That saying we have, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, should not be overlooked, as it is a good example of how perception ties in. I have already talked about perceptions of self in a previous article, but think it's important to understand your own view and standard towards these things. The need of the perfectionist, once allowed to indulge their perceived standards, can rage out of control somewhat, and result in all sorts of tragic and abhorrent views and behaviours. Mix into that personal desire, experience and resources, then you get a possible disaster. Because if that said type of person were running the show, they would make life hell for everyone else who they deem not up to standard, setting impossible targets and goals others will fail at, leading to the compounding belief they were right, you weren't good enough, attractive enough, smart enough, or the right colour, or from the right place, and so on. If someone or something is trying to convince you that you aren't good enough for any reason, rather than jump straight to feeling bad about it, or taking it personally, firstly, think of the motivation of the teller, and why they would want you to think you aren't perfect. Is it because it reveals that it is they who think you aren't perfect, and require it to be deflected, so you will try and please them, change yourself for their ideals, rather than call them out on their unrealistic and unhealthy view? Society functions like that too, it seems, and can be observed as well in personal relationships, family dynamics, and anywhere you have people really. And having a standard isn't the problem. It seems to be once you believe everyone else has to adhere to that unrealistic standard, that is where we definitely have a problem.